Hello, welcome into my workshop and welcome to the show Creations of Clay. My name is Louis Palladini and tonight I'd like to do another dinosaur. It's one of the earlier dinosaurs and it's called Dimetrodon. It's got a nice little sail on its back like that, and it basically looked like a giant lizard with a sail on its back, and it was one of the earlier predator type dinosaurs, like the before the T-Rex or the Allosaurus or some of those big dinosaurs. But I'll show you how to do this from start to finish, and I'll show you the types of clay that you can use. There's an oil-based clay such as this, which never hardens. This is the one, like I've said in the past, that I used to use all the time as a kid. And it's a wonderful clay to use because once you make something, you get bored of it, you can just roll it up into a ball again. Then there's an air hardening clay such as this, which hardens like in a couple of hours or overnight. And then you can paint it. That's the great thing about this clay, and then it's permanent. My preference for the clay is a clay called Super Sculpey, which can be baked in the oven at about 275 degrees for about 15 or 20 minutes. And it's a very clay to use. You can drill it, sand it, and I just really enjoy using this type of clay. The size balls of clay that we'll be using tonight are this size ball of clay here. This is what we'll make the sail out of, which is what I painted orange on the Dimetrodon. The 4 smaller balls of clay here will be used for the legs. And then the body, we'll use this size ball of clay right here. And then for the feet, or the claws on the feet, I have these smaller balls like here, this size here. I have about 16 of them, and you can see them right here on the table. And I'll show you, we'll use those to make the feet. The first step in the process is we want to make the body. So in this situation here, we'll be making the head all the way down to the tail, right here where I'm just showing you that. And I'll show you how to do that. The first thing we want to do is pick up this piece of clay here and squeeze it in our hands like this, just like this. See, make it almost into like this potato-like shape. And then what we can do is just see how I'm pinching this? We're going to make the tail. See how you pinch it from the top to the bottom to the sides. See how I'm doing that? And that way you can make the tail. See how that, I'm just kind of pulling it, molding it, just like that. Doing that. Very easy to do. And then we want to start to make the body. So we'll squeeze that a little bit. Just squeeze it. And then we're going to start to pull this piece out. See, I'm kind of rounding that out. That's going to be the head. So we're going to see, I'm just taking that there, just making that there. See how we're just kind of pulling that out, just like that. See how it's starting to take shape? Just going to work it a little bit more like this. And then I want to just work the body a little more. Like this. Just like that. And then for the head, the easiest way to make the jaws in this, I'll show you. We'll take a finger like this, right? See how I'm pushing this? I'm pushing down like that. Go like that. See how I'm doing that? And then we'll kind of shape the head a little more here. To make the head. See how I'm doing that? And then we're going to take this lower jaw here that we have. See the shape that I'm making right now? See how we're doing that? We'll take just think of almost like a U shape. And then we'll take, and we'll start to close the mouth. So I'll just take this. See how I'm doing that? See how we did that? And that's, so we made it, see the nice shape of the head? And that's what it looks like on the side. You get the jaw. And we'll work on the body a little more. So what I'm going to do is take my thumb, in my fingers, and we'll try to smooth it out a little bit, like this. See this? How we're going to smooth out the body a little bit? Just like that. Want to make it nice and smooth. We'll roll it around. Smooth it out with your fingers just like that. And then the next thing that we will want to do is we want to make the legs. And I'll show you what we'll do. See these legs here? Right here. We're going to make these legs. And we're going to do all four of them. And I'll show you how to make those. We're going to take this here, almost think of making it almost into like a log. So I'm just squeezing that. And then we're almost going to make almost like a boomerang shape. I'll show you. See how that's kind of shaped like that? That's almost like the little elbow there. And this is going to be one of the front legs. And then I'm going to proceed to make the other one. So we take this piece of clay here, make that log-like shape like that. See that? And we're going to almost make that boomerang type shape again. Work it like that. And I want to see they're approximately the same size. If they're a little off size-wise, that's fine. But they're approximately the same size, as you can see here. And then we'll proceed to make the back legs. I'm going to make it into that log-like shape. See how I'm pulling that? Just like that. And then you make that boomerang type shape again. But we're going to have it going the other way. And I'll proceed to make the last and final leg. Let's see, I want to squeeze that. Just like that. See how we did that? See how it kind of has an angle to it? And now what we'll proceed to do is I'll make sure that they're approximately the same size. See that? Which they are. And now we can proceed to put these on the body. So what I want to do here is take this leg here, and we kind of just work it into the body like that. See how we did that? And we'll proceed to do the other side the same way. And we'll work that clay into the body. See, I'm taking the clay and with my fingers and pushing that up against the body. Just like that. And now I'll proceed to do the back legs. That will be, put that right there. And then we'll just work, see how I'm working that in? Just like that. You take and pinch that up against the body. Just like that. And we'll proceed to do the other side. We're going to take this, and we're going to push that up against the body like that. Just like that. And one of the things that I want to also do is we can flip this over. See the underneath part? See, I'm taking and pushing, taking my finger. You can do this with the toothpick also, but just take and work that clay up against the leg from this side, because we want to make sure that, see, I'm doing that, just working that up against there like that. And then we'll do the same thing over here. We're using my fingers. Sometimes I use the toothpick to do this, and at other times it's just as easy to do with your finger like this. See how I'm doing that? Just like that. So I want to make sure that it has it's properly attached. So now you can see his body is really starting to take shape. So I'm going to take and place this on the table now and make sure the legs are positioned right. And so he's really starting to take shape like that. We'll just work him a little more. And the next thing that I'd like to do is I want to make the sail. See this sail right here, which I painted orange? We want to make that. So I'll show you how to do that. Put this aside here. We're going to take this clay here, and we're going to flatten it out. See how I'm pinching it and flattening it out? Take your fingers and just squeeze it like this, and I'll show you the shape that we want to make. Just keep pinching it like that. And what I want to do is place this on the table and tap it a little bit. And you see how big it is compared to this one. It's almost there. So we gotta, I'll show you the shape that we want. See this shape here? Think of almost like a, see how that is? And see how nice and flat that is? We'll keep working this on the table. I'm going to smooth this out a little bit, so I'll push this like this. We'll flatten it out on the table. And then I want to smooth out some of these areas here so we can't, it'll be nice and smooth. Just like that. Just do that. See how we smoothed it? It's nice and smooth. Now what we want to do is we want to get a toothpick. You know, these can be bought in the supermarket or CVS or one of those places. And what I like is the one with the two pointy ends like this. Because what we're going to do is I'm going to place this down on the sail right here and push that into the sail. And what we do is we just keep pushing this, spacing them a little apart like this. And just kind of push it in like that. And I'll show you, see how I made those two indentations? And we're going to make those indentations all along the sail right here, just like that. Just finishing up. I finished one side and I also did the other side. And now what we can do is we can place it on the back of the Dimetrodon. And what we can do is see, we're just going to place this here. And what I'm going to do is kind of pinch it a little bit on both sides. You just see I'm taking my finger and kind of working that on into the back a little bit. We want to do that so it will, and we're going to do that on both sides. So I just want to take and just work that like that. See how I'm just kind of working that in. And we'll do it from both sides. See how I'm working that like that. Just like that. And then we'll flip over to the other side. You see I'm just kind of pinching that in. That's what we want to do. And there it is. And then the next thing that we want to do is we're going to do the feet. And I'll show you how to do that. We want to take these small balls of clay, kind of spin them a little bit in our hands or on my fingers. I'll show you. We're going to make 4. See how I'm working that? See how that looks? And then we're going to make like a little point here for the claw. See how we did that? I'm going to make up 4 of these. So we'll do this. Just pinch it back and forth like this. And then at the very tip, make that nice claw. So you take your fingers and make it kind of sharp. See how it looks? And we're going to do 4 of those. And I'll show you how to do the first foot. Let's see. Take. Then we're going to do the 4th one. Just kind of pinch it between your fingers like this. See how it's going back and forth? This way, then this way. And then we make that nice little claw at the end. Like that. And now I'll show you how we're going to place this on the foot. I'm going to take this, and see this? We're going to place that right there. So there's going to be 4 of these like little toes or claws. So we just kind of place these on the bottom like this. Just like that. And then, I'm just going to put this down for a second. And then I'm going to take and put that other claw here. See how that's starting to shape up? And then I'll put the 4th one right here. And that's how you make. See how we did that? And then you can see that from this side. And we'll proceed to do all 4 feet in the same manner. And finally, I'm putting the last and final claw on the foot. So now you can see all the claws. There's 4 in each. And that's what it will look like from, the bottom. And then you kind of look at it from the top down. See how that is? And the next thing that we'll proceed to do is we're going to make the eyes. So I do have some pieces of clay here, about this size. And what we're going to do is take those and put those on the side of the head. So I'm going to take and we'll just kind of work this in. So I put that clay there. See how I put that on? And we'll just take, and I'll work that all the way around. Just like that. For the eye. And we'll proceed to do the same for the other side. I'll take this piece of clay and I'll place it on here in approximately the same location on the opposite side. And see that? We'll take and we'll work that in like that. I'll take and pinch it with my fingers. I'll pinch it from the front too. See how we did that? And then we'll pinch it from behind. So now, the next thing that we want to do is we want to make the eye. So I'm going to take this toothpick and we're going to place it right in here. So put that in there like that. And we kind of go back and forth like that. And then I'll proceed to do the other eye in the same way. So I want to flip this around. I'm going to take this. And then you kind of go back and forth like that. See how we're doing that? You get the eye done. And now for some of the texture, for some of the skin, what I want to do is I want to take a piece of tin foil, which can be bought like in the supermarket or CVS, and we're going to take and just kind of scrape this along the sides to create some skin texture. And then you're going to scrape the legs like this, just like that. And we're going to do that all around the body. Just like that. See how we're doing that? You want to do that around the entire body. And once that is complete, when we've done that around the entire dinosaur, it'll be ready for baking. Okay, now that we've fired the Dimetrodon in the oven, it's now ready to be painted. And I will show you the types of paints that you can use. We're going to use acrylic paints, which can be bought in any art store. There's 18 in this package. And we're going to be using 3 different colors tonight. What I'd like to do is we're going to be using black right here, orange, and then there's like a bluish green they'll be using for the body. And then I'll show you the size brushes that I like to use for this. We're going to use this brush here for the body. And then we'll probably use it for the sail too. The sail is this right here, and we can use that for the body. And then for the eyes, I have a smaller brush right here. I'll be using a brush about this size. So the first thing that we want to do is I want to do the eye. So we'll take this black, and then we will proceed to do the eye. Pick this up. See this area right here? We're just going to dip the brush in right here. Right there. And then we'll proceed to do the other one. Get some more paint in the brush. And then you just want to put this in, see, like this. Just like that. And then we'll proceed to do the sail next. We'll proceed to do the sail. So we do see this, we're going to go back and forth like this. Back and forth, back and forth. Just like that. Back and forth. And then we'll paint, you want to paint both sides of the sail in that manner. So I just want to dab this, go back and forth. And then even with, like the top here, we want to paint that also. See how I'm doing that? You want to do the top portion. And I'll just show you quickly. Just dab that like that. Do the back and forth. Just like that. See how nicely that looks? Looks pretty good. And I'll just show you how to, you want to flip this around, and then we'll do the other side. So just go back and forth like that. Just going to dab down near the bottom. And see this? Back and forth. Just like that. And you'll paint the entire sail in that manner. You might want to put a couple of coats. When it dries, it might not look orange enough, so you might want to add a second coat. I like this blue-green color. It's a nice color. And then we'll take this, and we're going to paint the body like that. So we just back and forth, back and forth. We might have to do a couple of coats with this. So what I would do is after you paint this, let it dry, then add a second coat. So that way it will be a little darker. See how we're going back and forth? Then do the tail. Like that. See, we go the back and forth, back and forth. Want to do the head. And you just get that to the back and forth motion. And if you do, when you're doing around the eyes, you might want to use a smaller brush. And I'll show you. You want to get the claws. See how we're doing that? And you'll paint all around. I'll show you a little bit of the other side. See how we're just doing that? Just like that. You'll paint the entire body in that manner. And now what I want to show you is what the finished Dimetrodon should look like. This is what he looks like right here. You have that nice bluish green paint. You paint the entire body like that. You can see that the eyes are black on both sides. And then you can see the nice orange sail. I think it's a nice contrast in the colors. Now, nobody knows exactly what colors dinosaurs were, so you can make different colors too. Like if you want to make this red or blue, you can make it whatever color you want. I do want to thank you for coming to Creations in Clay tonight, and I do look forward to seeing you again next week. Goodbye for now.